Washington Interscholastic Activities Association was started in 1905 and actually mirrors other associations in every other state in the United States. And our motto has been preparing youth for life from one generation to the next. Throughout the course of the last couple of years, the association has been involved with developing a new mission statement, new core principles, and a vision statement, and just recently established the goals and the action steps that will be following those. Strengthening all students for life through participation in excellent, fair, safe, and accessible activities. And that means a lot of different parts of what the association is responsible for is not only making sure that state events go the way that they're supposed to, but also that regular season events go the way that our students and our fans expect them to go, and that everyone has an enjoyable time and is in a safe situation. The Washington Interscholastic Activities Association actually started out, like many state associations, as an athletic association only. But in the mid-60s, the association brought in music, speech, drama, and debate. And so that A really stands for activities. The vision is that by 2018, all member schools and school districts will demonstrate ownership of the mission and core principles. So that's top to bottom. That's the WIAA Executive Board and staff, and the coaches that are in school buildings, as well as the participants, parents, and administration and school directors. The core principles are designed again to help reflect the mission and the vision of the association. The goals, probably the most significant part of the goals, is a striving toward what will be defined as a healthy culture. And there are a number of different action steps that will be taken to make sure that the state association, the districts, the leagues, and the schools themselves will be working to make sure that our students are involved with a healthy culture. The same will be done with our State Principals Association, superintendents, school directors, coaches, athletic administrators, and officials. A healthy culture is the core of what keeps our association's programs vital to the very core. The WIAA is developed around member school because every spring, school boards from around the state, both public and private schools, make the determination in an open meeting that they're going to join the association. And when school directors do that, they also create a couple of other actions. Number one, each school directors group is encouraged to appoint one person to be the WIAA contact for those school directors. That means that that school director will receive information from the association, the same information that athletic administrators, principals, and superintendents receive. And that director acts as a liaison between those who implement activities programs in their buildings and the other school directors. The school directors also select a spokesperson, someone from that school, from every member school of the association, to represent that school at WIAA League and WIAA District and at the state level. While that person in the past has traditionally been the school building principal, over the years that responsibility has fallen to the athletic director. When you look at the diagram of the decision-making model within the school, the expectation is that input is received from coaches, parents, community members, and participants by the school administration team, the athletic director, the principal, and the superintendent, and that they're meeting on a regular basis to make sure that their programs are designed the way the community wants them to be designed. But the real decision makers of that school, of every school, rests with the school directors. And it's their responsibility to make sure that they are aware of all the issues at not only the league and district level, but at the state level. The school directors then make sure that their voice, the voice that they want to be heard, is aired through that school spokesperson, the person who will be traditionally representing the school at league meetings and perhaps a WIAA district meeting or even at the state association level. That school representative's responsibility is to make sure they hear the voice, represent the voice, and then respond to the school administration team and the school directors about how other league members and district members fit in with what that particular school feels about their position on WI issues. It's important to have a closed circle. The school voice is aired by the school spokesperson at the levels, and then that same school spokesperson, and like I said, traditionally that's the athletic director, brings the decisions of the leagues and the district back to the school directors so that they know why the league and the district went the way they went. The WIAA legislatively is divided into 9 districts. Each one of those 9 districts has a board of directors and a district director. Typically, the board of directors includes at least one representative from each one of the leagues, a representative of the Officials Association, a representative of the Fine Arts within that district, and also a representative from the State School Directors Association. Typically, it's the Interscholastic Activities Committee member of that area of the state. The board of directors for that typical WIAA district then makes sure and hires a director. The director is responsible for putting in place all the necessary elements of postseason play because each district is responsible in developing the process that selects the entrance into the state tournaments at the WI level. So district boards determine prices for district events, sites for events, times for events, and at times the district directors from around the state have to work collectively on placement of those sites and times dependent upon the sport. To summarize, every member school is part of a league and every league is part of a WI district. At the state association level, that district membership plays another vital role. First of all, every district determines who will represent that district in the WI Representative Assembly. The Representative Assembly is the rules-making body of the association. They make determinations on what the eligibility rules will be, what the different classifications will be, and they make determinations on anything that affects the total eligibility of students and teams participating in postseason event. They act on amendments to the WI Constitution and rules on an annual basis. The WI Executive Board is a 13-member board. There are 9 members of the board, 1 from each member district, and then there are 4 additional at-large members. 1 representing Region A, which is a combination of Districts 1 and 2, 1 from Region B, which is a combination of Districts 3 and 4, and 1 from Region C, which is a combination of Districts 6 through 9. And those were combined in that manner because it reflects the number of member schools in each one of those regions. Those members are nominated by their respective WI district and then appointed by the WI Executive Board to make sure that there are females, minorities, and positional representation, so superintendents, principals, athletic administrators, on the board as voting members at all times. In addition to those 13 members, there are 8 honorary members who sit at the table during WI Executive Board members. They are non-voting members, and they represent the School Directors Association, the State Athletic Administrators Association, secondary school principals, middle-level school principals, the State Superintendents Association, Coaches Association, Officials Association, the Washington Federation of Independent Schools, and then a fine arts representative. And that position rotates between members of the speech, debate, drama, and music communities. The WIAA Executive Board is responsible as the final appeals body if there's a concern about a violation of the rules, if there's an appeal regarding a school's classification. They also resolve any issues about league membership, and they are also responsible for setting the sites and dates for state tournaments. And as far as the association is concerned, the WIAA state office only is involved with state events, and that includes semifinals and finals in football, regionals in basketball, and regionals in wrestling, and then only the state tournaments in the other sports. The WIAA Representative Assembly, which meets first of all in the Winter Coalition meeting in March, is responsible for making changes to the WIAA's constitution and rules. An amendment to the rules must be submitted by a member school, and that member school's superintendent must sign on as a sponsoring school, and then must gather the signatures of 4 other representative member schools. Once that's done, then it's sent to the league, which then reviews it, and then to the WIAA district, which reviews it, and then it must be in the association office in time to be sent to all the other member schools. The amendments are acted upon by a representative assembly, which is a 53-member body that votes online in April. In addition to the input that's received from the honorary members during WIAA Executive Board meetings, there are 3 other committees with which the association works. The State School Directors Association has a standing committee called the Interscholastic Activities Committee. They meet 3 times a year, and they have a representative from each one of the legislative districts, and those members are selected by the school directors in that district. The association also works with the State Superintendents Association in developing a Superintendent's Advisory Committee, which also meets 3 times a year. In addition to that, the State Principals Association has an advisory committee, and they also meet to make sure and give input to their representative on the WIAA Executive Board, and then regarding amendments. Communication is an extremely essential part, and it really needs to go both ways. It needs to go from the member school to the league to the district board, and then to the WIAA Executive Board and staff, and then back down through. It needs to be a cycle. I would encourage any school director or superintendent, athletic administrator, and principal to make sure that they're creating time within your busy agendas to discuss issues that are happening at the league and the district and at the state level. The WIAA staff plays an extremely vital role because it's our responsibility to be out with the member schools, either through emails, voicemails, or face-to-face meetings and phone calls, and hearing what the member schools need and then supplying them with the appropriate, consistent, and timely information. The association's budget is developed by the WIAA Executive Board and is approved on an annual basis through a process of 3 readings. The first reading is in January, and that's when the board gets a chance to look at the first draft of the agenda, and then March, and then in June, when the final reading is held. As you can tell from the pie chart, most of the revenue from the association's approximately $4.5 million budget is driven by state tournament revenue. And then there are various other parts of the association revenue that comes from membership service fees, as well as conference workshops and clock hours. The most vital part in today is to make sure that we are transparent and that we are answering the questions and providing the service that's necessary for the association. It's important that school directors and superintendents select a spokesperson who understands the goals of the particular school and was willing to communicate those not only to the league but to hear what the league has to say. That then funnels its way to the league, the WIAA District Board, WIAA Representative Assembly, Executive Board, and then the staff is charged with making sure to implement with what the Executive Board and Representative Assembly wanted to do. That then is communicated back to the member schools. I encourage you all to look at the WIAA website at WIAA.com, to contact staff if you have questions, to make sure and interact with who your league representatives are on the WIAA District Board and who your District Board representatives are on the State WIAA Executive Board. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact any member of the WIAA staff or through the internet or through the phone. Take care, and thanks for all you do.